Greetings. I will be presenting to you all today technical education in the beauty industry. My name is Batoya Fletcher. The class is COM 520. The professor is Devin Andrews, and today's date is October the 12th, 2025. And I also, you can follow along with me during this presentation via the handouts that I made. Also, in the handouts, I have a few of my student testimonies not testimonies, but they're pretty much their social medias. And so you can see based on their social medias, them completing the program and which school and what they're, doing now. Okay. The first slide is, and I'll reiterate through the presentation, tell you a little bit about the student. Okay, the first slide shows what is the industry you have chosen, what is your knowledge and comfort level with the industry, and what work or other related experience have you had in the industry. The industry that I've chosen is the industry of cosmetology/technical education. I have 20 plus years of experience in this industry. This industry is the industry that I have the most comfort in. I have worked as a cosmetology instructor in both a technical school setting as well as a private school setting. And also being a new mobile salon business owner in this industry and a prior salon suite owner. And on this slide, it also shows the first student, which is LaShonda Jones. She started the cosmetology program at Rivertown. It's been several years ago. And she was a correctional officer. She no longer wanted to be in that profession, and it was understandable. As well as she worked nights and worked 12-hour shifts. So she would come tired, but she was very determined to finish her program, and she did just that. And now she is a salon owner. She specializes in locks. She's a loctician, and the name of her salon is Sanaj Natural Beauty Enhancer, and is located in Americus, Georgia, and she's doing very well, like a 6-figure hairstylist will. So, to the next slide. How will you leverage your knowledge or experience to create the presentation and handouts? Do you have a specific area of expertise or certifications or licensing in this field? And to answer those questions, I would leverage my knowledge and expertise by providing my resume if necessary. Also, student testimonials, such as what I have done, I've added those. Proven data via the state licensing board of cosmetology and barbers, and that information, I have the website. You can log on to it if you need further information on me or any of these students. My specific area of expertise is trichology, which is pretty much the study and the health of the hair, and it dabbles into scalp and hair disorders, as well as hair color. That's totally my passion. I'm a Georgia State licensed master cosmetologist, as well as a Georgia State licensed cosmetology instructor. And this student, his name is Tay Johnson on Facebook, but his name is Octavian Johnson. And his story, I can't get into details of his story, but I feel like I played a major role with all of them, but I feel like I played a major role with his transition into his profession. It's a heartfelt story. He's now the owner of his shop is called Grind Time, and he's in Albany, Georgia. He was my student at Albany Tech, and he's doing extremely well. He's doing extremely well also. Okay. The next slide, it says, what reputable industry sources or links to related resources will you provide, and how are they relevant in the industry? So the links provided below in this particular slide are for the Georgia State Licensing Board for cosmetologists and barbers. All licensed professionals in the industry in the state of Georgia are listed on this website, and I have that link provided. I also included PSI, which is a licensing examination proctoring service that all licensed all licensing exams are now proctored by this company, and I've also included their link as well. And I also included NACAS, National Accreditation Commission of Career and Arts and Sciences. And NACAS is more than likely, if you are in this region and you are a private institution, the accreditation agency that you will use to get accredited, your school to get accredited. A lot of private cosmetology and barber schools use NACAS, and it's a whole process to getting accredited. And I also provided their link as well. And this student, her name is Latoya Powell, but she has tweeted her name on Facebook. It's Money Rain. But anyway, she is so special, near and dear to me. She is still one that we keep in contact, more like a little sister than anything. Of all of these students, she was one that she did not go and get her license, and I'm still working with her and encouraging her. But if you only knew the background of some of the students, you would understand, everybody doesn't have an easy life, but I'm more than an instructor. I'm more than a hairstylist. I'm a mentor as well. And so I push them. But me being around her, having the chance to be around her again, and what I'm noticing now, she is more of a kid's braider. She has patience. She has a son that has autism, and he has Tourette syndrome. So she has to focus on him a lot and be really patient. And so by doing that, she has pretty much developed patience for working with kids. Kids are, if they wiggle in the chair, they cry in the chair, it's more than a job that I can handle, I can say that. But she's very passionate about that, and her income is really good being a kid's braider. And in the state of Georgia, as of now, you don't have to have license to be a braider or a loctician, so it's working for her. I still encourage her, however, because that's my student, but I still, it works for her. So that's her story. So next we have, what are some industry related topics that you will include in this presentation, and how are the topics significantly interesting and controversial to the industry? Okay. One of the industry related topics that I will be discussing in the presentation is if licensing will still be necessary or required in the future for cosmetologists and barbers in the state of Georgia. So this is a big issue, and the other piece to it is, or will they be governed now by the health department? So if there's no need for them to be licensed anymore, there will really not be a need for school. And so that's a major issue, but they don't realize the importance of school. We learn more, and I guess that's why it will then turn to be governed by the health department, because we learn more than what an average person would think that we have to know. We learn about health, sanitation. That's the biggest portion of the board now. It's health and sanitation. But we have diseases, disorders of the scalp that we deal with. Things can be, you can catch a lot in the salon. You can cross contaminate in the salon a lot if you don't know what you're doing. Some things and I have my students to do infection control projects, but things like staph, things like HIV, things such as strep, it's a lot that you can catch. Ringworms. And so I think that is very important, and whoever's making this decision, I'm on the professional side of it, saying no, we don't need to go that route. However, they as of now have not come to a final decision on it as far as the licensing for this year. We were still required to get our license. However, some people, like I said, were saying, well, people work on movie sets and they don't necessarily have to have a license, this, that, and the third, but you don't know the profession. So it will be under review until the next licensing term, which will be in March of 2026. So then we'll know, are we going to still have to be licensed, or are they letting it go, So this student on this slide is Mr. Antonio Colbert, and he was my student at Albany Tech. And Mr. Colbert had cut hair. He had his own shed in his backyard for years. And, this is a type of profession. If it's in you, it's in you. But he wanted to be licensed, and so he decided to come to school. So he was already, had a full clientele, yada, yada, yada. And he came to school and he opened a shop. I don't think this is updated, this information, but he opened a shop called Static. And so he's pretty successful as well, pretty successful barber in Albany, Georgia. Okay. The next slide. What are some current challenges and trends in the industry, and how are the challenges being addressed? So, some current challenges in the industry are being able to bridge the gap, and this is as far as the education portion of it, being able to bridge the gap between the generations as it applies to the educators and the students. Our current students, they don't learn like we learn. It's totally different. My current employer, which is at a private school, is still doing things by pen and paper and does not want the students to utilize technology at all. However, with the generations of students, technology is their way of learning. Like I have a teenage son, he's 18, and since day one of school, they came home with tablets. They did not have textbooks. The textbooks were non-existent. Pen and paper is pretty much non-existent. He used paper to draw. And so I don't get this thing of them not having able to use social media. Well, not social media, but technology. Social media is a big part of it too as well. So my way of trying to resolve the issue was to inform the school owner of ways for this generation of students to learn, and this through technology. And I told her, I feel like that's the way to bridge the gap. And so what she did in return, her solution to the problem is she ordered me a TV and a laptop and a stand for my classroom. And so I'm currently waiting on that to come in. But hopefully, I like web-based tutorials. And like I said, everything is technology based. Just to be honest. It's ways for them to do their work as well and promote themselves by social media. They don't even want them to have their cell phones out. And for one, I think that they're at 18 and above, you're grown. As long as you're doing it respectfully, you're not on the salon floor and all of your clients on the phone, but if you have kids, I think that's respectable. Let's step away. You use your phone, do what you need. If you doing a service and you want to promote your social media, put it on your social media with the client's permission. By all means, record or take your picture. I had them, they were learning nails the other day, and they were recording, learning the whole nail process. Nothing wrong with that. They had to edit it. I don't care. I mean, it's no big deal, but they make it such a big deal. So I have included on this slide pictures of Albany Tech, which was one of my employers, Rivertown School of Beauty, which is an old employer, and now it's my current employer. And I've also included the state board website on here, as well as NACIS, which is the accrediting agency, and PSI, which is the testing proctor for our industry. And last and final slide is conclusion and works cited. In conclusion, some of the illustrations, besides the client testimonials that I use, were the student success stories, and also illustrations of getting tongue-tied, illustrations of myself and some of the services that I provide, so such as hair color, makeup, and services that I teach as well. Hair color and makeup, lash extensions, etc. Also, I included the different sites, and I stated that in the other slide, of the Georgia State Board, Licensing Board of Cosmetology and Barbers, the PSI Examination Proctoring Service, and NACIS, the accreditation agency. And I've already stated the other illustrations on here, as well as my work cited is from our textbook, as well as Google search and Facebook. And that pretty much concludes my presentation. Thank you.